That's some good trick, El Guapo.
Rock Gods is here with Paul Shortino and Howard Leese from Rock Vault. I'm guessing, guys, back in the day, you were in cover bands before making your way into your respective bands, and maybe some of these songs you even played sort of back in the day.
Well, when I first started playing, my first song was "House of the Rising Sun," so I had to. It was the first song I learned on guitar, and I was about 11. And I learned a bunch of cover songs to learn how to play, and got together with a neighborhood band and stuff like that, and played cover songs, but it hasn't been years. Been doing my own thing and did stuff with Rough Cut and Quiet Riot, and worked with Ronnie James Dio, and me and Howard have done stuff together.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things about doing this. I never played in cover bands. When I was a little kid, and I played Rolling Stones songs and stuff, and I did learn Light My Fire, which we do here. I already knew that solo a little bit, but I always played in original bands. So one of the fun things about this is learning work by some of these real master players. Like, you've heard Hotel California 1,000 times. Until you learn how to play it, really appreciate how much is there. And it's we tackle the big songs, the hard songs. There's a lot of very difficult parts that we do, and so it's kind of fun to get inside the minds of some of these guitar heroes, and learn specifically and precisely how they did what they did.
I mean, you bring up a really interesting point, Howard. I mean, I don't think people realize how truly innovative these guys were. The Don Felders and the Jimmy Pages and the Blackmores, until you're sitting there and really having to reconstruct these solos.
Right. We do stuff by Blackmore and by Hendrix that dates back to the 60s. And I'll tell you one thing, it's much more technically challenging than the 80s stuff.
Yeah, and even the new stuff the kids are coming out with now. I mean, they're just...
Some of that stuff from the 70s was tricky. And again, to get the tone right and get the sound right, it doesn't need to be complicated to be rock and roll. Look
exactly.
At it. We do the AC/DC, we do ZZ Top. ZZ Top are proud. They call it 3 chords and a cloud of dust. They keep it as simple as they possibly can, and that's one of the cool things about rock and roll. Some of it is real simple. Some of the best stuff's real simple.
And it's stand the test of time. All these songs, you listen to the Doors on the radio today, and it sounds like it was recorded today. Sonically, the stuff, and all the Zeppelin stuff, and even Heart, the stuff that Howard recorded on the analog stuff. I mean, it was just a different time period in an era where people actually, I think, took a little bit more time in their creation part. Now everything is created with computers and cut and paste.
You couldn't fix anything. You had to play good. Yeah. If you didn't play it good, you had to play it over again. You have to do 100 takes of something to get it perfect. And so you couldn't fix anything after the fact. It had to go down, had to be good going down. So.
Exactly right. And there's no getting around 4 or 5 guys standing in a room.
Absolutely. That's what rock and roll is.
And there's a vibe to it. There's energy.
Somebody's asked me about Barracuda the other day, because we just got in the Hall of Fame. Somebody's asked me about Barracuda. I said, what you hear on the record, that's live. All we did was add the guitar solo and Nancy's harmony. Even most of her lead vocal is live, but the track, all the bits, all the little guitar bits, that's all live with the drums. That track's live.
That's
all
cool.
5 of us at once.
That's cool. Howard, while we're here, Hart is being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
We got inducted last week.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was upcoming. I'm sorry. I mean, what did that feel like?
We played Crazy on You, the original band, first time in 30 years. And it sounded like we played it yesterday.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was so cool.
We
cool. Just got up there and we were that band. We haven't played together at all since then. I mean, I played with them 15 years past that with Ann and Nancy, but the original guys who cut all those tracks hadn't played in a long time. And it was just like putting on old shoes. Very comfortable.
I mean, did it feel good to be recognized for that body of work?
Yeah, sure, of course. I mean, it's a huge honor. I mean, it didn't really hit me. It's funny because it didn't hit me until we were at the ceremony, and they played a short film of all these people that had been inducted in past ceremonies, and it was like, James Brown and just Prince, and Mick Jagger, and Beatle guys, and I mean, all of a sudden, him and go, wow, this is a really elite club. There's only 600 people on the whole planet that are in this club, and that's really when it got to me. I went, wow, this is a big deal. But it was fun to play. I mean, it was cool because it was a gig. We only played a little bit, but it was still, had to rehearse and do a show.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like go to the ceremony like at the Oscars. We actually had to perform. So that kept it distracted from the gravitas of the whole thing.
Gotcha.
But it was cool. And it's a nice feeling.
That's cool. I mean, what I really love about the Rock Vault show is that it really is a celebration of classic rock. And, we think of a lot of these artists who perform these songs, and I was just going through my list, and half these guys on half these songs are some of the key players are gone. I mean, Keith and Whistle from The Who, and, John
Deep
Lord from Purple, and Brian Jones from the Stones. So in some fashion, it's really kind of flying high, that banner of classic rock.
One of the sad things at the Hall of Fame was Donna Summer, who was inducted, just passed away, just didn't live to see it. John Lord, I'm sure Deep Purple gets in next year. They were nominated this year. We were nominated last year, didn't get in. We got in this year. I'm betting that Deep Purple gets in, and he's going to miss it.
They should,
so
because
sad.
they were like some.
Yeah. So that for all of us to still be around to see that day, pretty cool.
It is. So, I mean, in some sense, do you feel like you're sort of, holding the banner of classic rock up and
Absolutely. We're going, music today sucks. Listen to this shit. This is good music. This is what a band sounds like.
It's totally right.
And if you remember, then you're cool. And if you are too young to remember those days, you go, what? Seriously? I remember my daughter, she came to me one day, she was about 14, and she goes, Dad, I've had it with modern music. I think NSYNC is what the final straw. She goes, I've had it. I'm not listening to modern music anymore. She started listening to Simon and Garfunkel and stuff.
That is so unbelievable.
She got so educated. She knows the Doors as well as I do. I mean, she knows the 60s stuff. And she goes, Dad, it's just better music. I go, I know. It's not. I'm not being one of those guys who goes, oh, your stuff today, these kids today. It really is better. So we're playing the music that we think will stand the test of time. And here we are playing music that some of it's 50 years old. So obviously it is standing the test of time.
Exactly. So if we think of the Rock Vault guys in 2080 playing songs from 2000 and 2010. I mean, what are they going to play? What are they going to play?
Yeah, I know.
Well, Sinbad had a thing, Where You Been? It's a new show that he had out, right? And he starts out playing drums with all the funk guys. Cameo, Ohio players, they're all in the band. And they're jamming, and he gets up and he says, these guys are still funking and jamming in their 60s. And he says, this is really where the R&B came from. Right. Who's going to go see JC when he's 60? And he was just great. He says, but you see the Stones still.
Yeah.
You see Aerosmith. These guys are.
And the Who are both on tour right now. What year is it? Wait a minute. Let me check my watch here. Oh my goodness, it's way too late. I saw the Stones in '64. So let's just put things in perspective.
We were talking earlier, Howard, about how you really had to kind of sit and learn all these songs for the show, but you did know All Right Now. I guess you maybe had a relationship with the singer or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I play that at work.
I mean, would Paul sort of regale you with stories about Koss? I mean, I'm guessing you're a pretty big Kossoff fan.
Huge Kossoff fan. Free is my favorite band of all time. So,
seriously?
Yeah. So it was just like, I couldn't believe it when I got the gig to do stand where he stood. So it's a big deal for me. Paul, I consider the greatest rock singers ever lived.
Absolutely.
And
it's one
of my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I have so many to choose from, but everybody has stolen from Paul Rodgers. Yeah. I told Paul Rodgers one night when Howard they played here in Vegas. we went and saw the show, and I went back and saw Paul, and I said to him, I said, you're like the Frank Sinatra of rock and rollers. You have the best phrasing.
Yeah.
You always are consistent. And Frank's, and he said, Paul, that was, he shook my hand. He said, that was one of the better compliments I've ever gotten from anyone.
Yeah.
Because,
yeah.
I mean, he's the god of phrasing.
He's the governor, isn't he? He's the governor. And yes, there are lots of stories. And no, I'm not going to share any of them with you. But if I ever wrote a book, boy, it'd be hot.
Yeah.
It'd be hot cakes.
Yeah, what a remarkable band. So
I'm doing Bad Company this summer, and so Simon and Mick have some really great stories. And like Mick lives in a place called Henley-on-Thames. His house was built in 1430, and down the road is George Harrison, John Lord, David Gilmour. They're all in this little village together. These are like his drinking buddies, his legendary cats. And he knows all those guys, really part of the British rock royalty. So they have good stories, those guys.
That's cool. So, I mean, when you started playing with Paul, both in Bad Company and Paul solo bands, I mean, did you feel that you had to sort of, honor kind of what Koss had kind of done previously? And
yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, I do it out of respect. Plus, he was such a great player. All Paul told me, he says, you can play whatever you want, do your own solos. The only one you have to play like the record is All Right Now. I want you to play that just like the record, which I do. I play it precisely like Koss did it. But on the other songs, some of them I do his solos, some I do my solo. I have plenty of room to, in the Paul solo band, it's just a 3-piece. It's bass, drums, one guitar, and Paul. So there's plenty of stuff for me to play.
Yeah.
So he likes the way I play it. He knows that I'm very faithful. I worked on getting that specific tremolo that Koss had. That's very elusive tremolo. Even Eric Clapton asked him to show him how he did it. And Paul Koss's son has told me that it warmed his heart to hear me play because I play so much like his dad.
And then we actually got Jack Douglas, who did like the Aerosmith stuff, and John Lennon. He was with Lennon. Jack was with Lennon the night he got shot.
Yeah.
They had dinner.
Yeah.
And he just did the new Aerosmith album.
That's right.
But
That's right.
all these guys are, they're just, we're all getting older as every day goes by, and just some people leave us sooner than others because they don't have someone that's really aware that take care of their health and think about the inside as well.
A great producer too sometimes has as much to do with the sound of a record as the band. I mean, there's certain producers who really make a record happen, really mold a band who really don't have a direction, gives it focus, and something magic comes out. A lot of these guys, people don't really know that they're not household names, but in the industry they are. A guy like Andy and his brother Glenn Johns, huge stars in the record industry.
Roy Thomas Baker doing the Queen stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, right? His stamp on that stuff
Yeah.
is kind of as big as the band itself. And
Yeah, that is such a big, dramatic, over-the-top piece. I love playing that because Robin sings it beautifully. He's got that countenance to do it. I knew Freddie, and I played with Queen, toured with Queen with Heart all over England one time actually, and I sat on stage and watched them every single night. One of the most amazing bands I've ever beheld, and he had a certain regal stature to the way he delivered that music, and that song is so big and operatic, and it's just really fun to play. And Brian May is a genius guitar player, so playing his stuff, love it. They're a great band.
You're playing with Mick Ralphs,
Right.
back in the hard days. It's Roger.
Yeah.
I mean, does that require different approaches on your part? Is it a different kind of sympathy between players?
Yeah, well, a little bit. Me and Tracy and I have put our chemistry together pretty quickly. With Mick Ralphs, it's so much fun because he wrote all those songs, so it's cool to see the way he plays them, and then the way we work together. He accents it one way. It's got that old English trad jazz kind of feel that Charlie Watts has. The guys who grew up in the 40s, the post-war British guys, had that certain swing to their rock and roll. And then I'm from LA. I was born in Hollywood, so I have a different rhythm style.
Mm-hmm.
So I accent here and he accents there, and when you put it all together, it kind of weaves like a Keith and Woody kind of a deal where we it becomes this beautiful tapestry of accents and rhythms and polyrhythms. It's really cool. If you hear us on any of our live DVDs, you can hear the way the two guitars intertwine. It's a blast playing with Mick. It's such a wonderful man. Just love him to pieces.
And those songs are just so good. That first Bad Company
Songs
record,
are great, and they're so simple. I mean, they're so simple.
Forever.
But they're such solid songs.
You can sing them in the shower without the music. Johnny was a schoolboy.
Yeah, it's great stuff. So it's fun to play with those guys. And then I turn around, there's Simon, who he was in Free as well. So I'm with two of the guys in Free. So it's pretty entertaining.
That's very cool. And talking about great singers, Paul. I mean, I know that Ronnie Dio was involved in the Rough Cut thing, and obviously we know that we lost Ronnie a little while ago. You actually sang at his the benefit or the memorial. I mean, did you actually have a chance to spend some time with Ronnie?
I lived with Ronnie
singing
for like about 2 years, 3 years. He was putting a Holy Diver thing, and he was doing production with Rough Cut. In fact, phone call I just got was from Angelo Curry, his engineer that did the first, Holy Diver, Last in Line, and also Sacred Heart, all of those albums, and was a sound man on the road. And he told me just recently that Ronnie and him were disappointed that they didn't do the first Rough Cut album. And I wish he would have, because it would have come out earlier. Timing is everything in the music industry. And by the time that Warner Brothers had agreed on a producer, we ended up with Tom Allom, who did Priest and Crocus.
It's pretty cool, though, right?
Yeah, but I think Ronnie, it would have been a raw record, and I think timing-wise, it would have come out a year sooner, and we wouldn't have Tipper Gore running around putting stickers on albums saying it was devil music. And
that was fantastic. That was fantastic.
For everybody who had a record out, it helped their sales. But for new bands coming out, with the sticker on it, we were on Ronnie's tour, the Sacred Heart tour, which was selling out in production magazines. We're selling out the big arenas and everything with the dragon and the sword, the lasers and all that stuff. And we'd go into radio stations and there'd be the record. I go, have you heard anything on there? And they wouldn't open it. I haven't heard it. We'd go in to just promote the show.
The devil brought it in.
Yeah, exactly. So it didn't help Rough Cut on its sales or anything like that. But God rest Ronnie Dio's soul.
Yeah. So what I found a little interesting, we're talking about sort of this unsung phenomena that happens. After Ronnie passed away, it seemed like the whole world came and said, "Wow, what a really great singer." While he was still alive, I don't know if Ronnie really
got the recognition he's getting now.
I mean, I could be entirely wrong, but that.
No, he was. You know what? When I first met Ronnie James Dio, it was through Dave Alford. He goes, "Man, I know Ronnie James Dio," and I went, "Who's Ronnie James Dio?" And I had already sang a song that he had recorded with Rainbow, and it was "Kill the King."
Yeah, I was going to say Hart used to open for Rainbow, like in '76. With Cozy Powell, Ronnie.
Yeah.
And we knew the first time we saw him,
you knew, you could tell.
Holy crap, this guy can really sing. Because he was a legit singer. He could sing a Broadway musical if he wanted to. I mean, he could really sing. And it was kind of operatic against the metal that I think made his style.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we used to open for Rainbow, and they were really mean to us. They would give us like 6 inches of space and half the PA, half the lights, and they were not very pleasant to work for. But man, they were good. I stayed and watched that show every night after we got done.
So you're watching Blackmore do his thing every night.
Blackmore and Cozy Powell. I mean, it was a Jimmy Bain.
Ronnie was a real gentle spirit.
Yeah, he was very nice. Everybody was nice. Blackmore wasn't very nice.
Blackmore, he's told me stories
but
about
then
Richie and
6 months later, though, they wanted to open for us because we just went zoomed and went by him. Because we went from clubs to stadiums in about a year. And so, a few months later, they wanted to be on our tour. And it's like, well, we'd love to help you, but remember that time in Allentown?
I had saw Whitesnake warm up. They doing Slide It In for Ronnie. They were warming up for Ronnie, and then all of a sudden, they went just skyrocket. Ronnie has got like a cult following. for Dio period. But
Yeah.
Ronnie.
But Heaven
Ronnie-
and Hell was very successful too.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, he's a big star.
Yeah.
In that world, in the metal world, he's a huge star.
Yes.
I mean, he might not be a household name in the pop music world, but in hard
But
rock
he-
and roll,
he
he's
is.
in the pantheon.
He is a god. He's a
Yeah.
rock god.
He is.
Very true. One of your heroes, if I have my history correct, Howard, was Dick Dale.
Yeah.
He was one of your guys. Can you,
Uh-huh.
can you play me a Dick Dale? So cool. Talk about, the Stones going out for the 50th anniversary. Dick Dale is still playing.
Still playing. I
He's
saw him
76.
just a few months ago.
You did?
Yeah, I go and play with him whenever he comes around. I've played with him a number of times. And that music's 5,000 years old. That's an old Arabic song. That's an old scale. That's the kind of scale that Blackmore would use.
That's exactly right. And talk
Arabian,
about
Eastern scales.
exactly. And certainly we know about Dick Dale because you've loved him and learned his songs
Yeah.
and have played with him. But as in terms of a household name as a guitar player, I mean, does anybody?
Right. But again, in that world, in the world of surf music, he's the king. He's the king of the surf guitar. And he still plays and he still kicks ass. But when he impacted me, I went to the Teenage Fair. I was like 15 years old. And he comes out, ladies and gentlemen, Dick Dale in the Deltones. And he's got this Metal Flake Stratocaster on, up left-handed. And he does that. He starts with... It was freaking loud and all this reverb on it. I never heard a loud guitar before. I heard bands and stuff, and everybody play their songs like folk rock or whatever, the Byrds, Buffalo Springfield, and that kind of band. But Dick came out and he wasn't messing around. He was
He's still
really
rocking,
aggressive.
isn't he?
Yeah, he still plays the same guitar and the same amp that he had in 1961. He still is running that same rig, and it sounds just like it ever did. And he plays exactly like he always did. It's amazing.
I mean,
He's an amazing man.
Can we think of Dick Dale as the first metal guitar player?
I think it's definitely I think for the aggressiveness of it, yeah, definitely. And plus, he played some of the Eastern scales, which the metal guys love too. So, I think so. I mean, heavy surf guitar. Gary Hoey crosses the line between surf and metal. Yeah, I think definitely he had an impact on all guitar players, and nobody double pick like that. He's the first guy. It's an old mandolin trick. Guys in Europe could do it, but nobody I played did that on a guitar, really, until him. My band won a battle of the bands, and we got picked to play at the fair. So I told my mom, okay, I need a real guitar now. I'm going to play a real gig. I need a guitar because I had a cheap little $80 guitar. So we went down and I bought a Gibson 335, which I still have. 1966, bought a brand new, $300, and I got a nice guitar finally. So I'm playing good. I'm digging it. Then we get to the Teenage Fair, and we're playing at the Vox booth. You have to play only Vox guitars. So I couldn't use my guitar, and I had to play this weird-shaped Vox Phantom, which was like a Stratocaster, except the strings were like that high off the ground. Oh my God, I was miserable. I go, God, my beautiful guitar is right there. And I'm playing this thing, and
What was the name of that band?
The Group.
What songs did you play?
We did some Stones. We did like Off the Hook and Down the Road a piece. Still play. Buffalo Springfield played sports night at my high school. I saw the Doors, the Buffalo Springfield, Love, the Seeds, all those bands. I was a Sunset Strip rat. My bands were playing up there, even though I wasn't even 18 yet. I was playing in the clubs on the Strip with all those bands. So I got to see all those guys, firsthand before they were famous.
Were you actually doing originals in these bands?
Yeah, I did some originals already by then. Then I had a band when I was about 15 called The Zoo, which was all original stuff. It was me and Mike Flicker, and he went on to produce the first 5 hard records.
Sure.
And we were the production team that started that label. But we go back to high school and those little bands. And so, yeah, we did school and go up and talk our way into opening for whoever it was, them, Van Morrison, or whoever it was.
Wow.
I was playing these little clubs, and we'd get up there and do our little show. But good experience. No money, but great experience when you think of all the other bands I got to see up close.
Unbelievable. And one of my favorite bands of all time, Spirit. It's
Yeah.
funny, as I'm looking through this, I'm thinking, oh, well, Howard
Love
was there.
Spirit.
I wonder if
Opened
you ever...
for Spirit when I was 15.
Right, and then you played on
Mark.
the 13th Dream.
And I played on the 1984 reunion
1940,
concert,
right
yeah.
there. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Well, by then, Mark, the bass player, Mark Andes, was in Spirit. He was in Heart for 10 years.
Of course.
So that's where that connection goes.
Of course.
They were one of my
Yes.
favorite
Yeah.
bands. Spirit.
I mean, you think about
They were great.
unsung hero Randy, the flying
so
high
good.
the flag of Jimi Hendrix.
Rock.
The drummer
Slash
was ahead of
jazz.
his time as far as
Yeah.
the hair look.
Yeah, they were good.
What an amazing band. You have those interpretations of all the Fresh Garbage.
Down to the riverbed, gonna show you fresh garbage. Da, 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 da.
I
That
got
was
to
one
play
of
all
the
that stuff
songs
with
I learned
Randy.
on bass.
I got to play all those, like 1984, that
Yeah.
duet, Mechanical World. I got to play all that stuff with Randy.
So you had a chance to hang out with him.
a
And
little bit, yeah.
Pretty, could be a little kind of strange
he's a
little guy.
spaceman.
But
He's a spaceman for sure.
God, what an incredible player. Yeah.
And a good dad. Saved his son's life.
I wanted to ask you just real quickly, Howard, about your. You made a solo record in 2009, the Secret Weapon record,
Mhm.
which is a really beautiful record.
Thank you.
Um,
People love it.
it kind of really came together, and I kind of really got a sense of who you were as an artist away from the hard thing, and I mean, that feel kind of good doing that, and
Yeah,
doing that thing
it was
on
fun because I did everything but sing lead and play drums. Paul sings on it.
that's right.
Joe Lynn Turner sings on it.
Jimmy Jameson, the
Jimmy
Survivor
Jameson's
guy,
on
right?
there. I want to get Robin on my next one, Robin McCauley.
Keith Emerson was in there playing.
Emerson was on there, but everything else I played. So that was kind of fun to do, a very personal thing. The only thing I didn't write on the first record was Leonard Bernstein's Somewhere. So, in the interim, I was able to buy a guitar from Al Viola's widow. Al Viola played guitar for Sinatra, and he had this 1939 Gibson L5 that he played for 50 years with Sinatra, and he played it about on 100 movies, played it on Blazing Saddles, plays it on the original West Side Story. This is the guitar that's on the original West Side Story. So when I got this guitar, I thought, well, okay, I got to do another piece from West Side Story. So I've done I did Maria on the real guitar.
That's awesome.
That is cool.
Everything else is so far it's just instrumental guitar music. I haven't written any vocal songs yet. I haven't written with any singers yet, but I'm only halfway through.
That is so cool. And I mean this in the absolute most positive light. I think that people, because you were in Heart, which really wasn't I know there's a lot of guitar playing in that band, but I don't think people realize how really wonderful a guitar player you are.
Yeah, when people see me with Paul Rogers, they go, I didn't know you could do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Obviously, as a showcase like this, I mean, it's like, wow,
Howard
the guy
is unbelievable. I've seen him just do some classic stuff.
It was really beautiful. And
It's just unbelievable.
what I loved when you did the Blackmore solo and Smoke on the Water,
Mhm.
and you took it out of that, you went into that little strange little mode thing
Mhm.
was, I thought, wow,
That's what Blackmore would have done right
exactly.
there.
That was cool.
Somebody asked me, they go, how did you do the Blackmore? Because, he played a Stratocaster, you're playing a PRS with humbuckers, you had single coils. He goes, how did you get the sound? I go, it's, you can get the twiddle with the knobs a little bit and get it close, but the key to it is to think like the person. Not so much get the exact tone, but play like they play. Because playing is, everybody has their own little way of doing it, And if you really get way inside these guys, I can sound like him without sounding like him, if you know what I mean. I don't have a Stratocaster. I don't have that kind of rig that he has. I have a completely different setup. But if I play like him, it sounds like him. That's the key to it.
Very cool. That's great, guys.
Hi, this is Howard Leese. Richie Blackmore couldn't be here today. We're at the Rock Gods Hall of Fame. You're on the set of Raiding the Rock Vault in Las Vegas, Nevada.
And this is Paul Shortino making a big shout out to the Rock Gods Hall of Fame and Bang Your Head here at the Rock Vault. And actually, Howard and myself, not myself, but Howard Leese has just been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I think we should have mentioned that. And for the Rock Gods people,
I'm in the hall, y'all.
he's in the hall, y'all. Is that good? Or
That's great, man. That was great.
Thank you.